Good morning, culés, and welcome to all my beautiful Barça babies from around the world. It is the undefeated Mustache John here, giving you a full match review and analysis from Barcelona's 1-0 win away from home against Villarreal. We're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the Barça. We'll be giving out the Mustache Man of the Match, all that and more in our full match review of Barcelona's 1-0 win. Like I said, while we do that, we're going to have some good conversation with our fellow culés. We're going to have a little bit of caffeine. We're going to get our day going. We're going to get our week going. It's Monday, so let's start off on a positive note. Let's go ahead and kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right, happy Monday morning to you. Like I said, Barcelona with a big 3 points away from home, getting the one goal that they needed. Could have been more. Could have been more. I'm looking at you, Lewandowski. I'm looking at you, raphinha. We'll talk about that in the full match analysis. But just to give you a little overview of what happened, Pedri getting the goal in the 18th minute, set up by Lewandowski. Beautiful little tiki-taka back and forth, give and go. The one goal in the match gets all 3 points for Barcelona. If we look at some of the overview stats, Barcelona actually outpossessed for the first time all season. Villarreal with 54% possession, Barcelona with only 46. That's the big headline from the stats. Outside of that, it's kind of what you expect. 2 shots on target for Villarreal, 4 for Barcelona. Actually got outplayed on the corners as well. Villarreal with 6, Barca with only 2. 8 yellow cards in this match. This was a heated affair. Villarreal didn't want to just roll over for Barca by any means. This could have been a bigger victory, I think. The finishing was better. We'll talk about that more. But we did what we needed to do, got the 3 points, remain in first place, and for the time being, we're 11 points up over Real Madrid. Villarreal dropped down into 8th, but here's the thing. Real Madrid have that match in hand. They are going to be playing Elche on Wednesday. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. Real Madrid at home hosting Elche. I would assume they're going to get 3 points there, and it's going to go back to a 5-point lead at the top. But whatever happens, we did our part. We got our win. We're top of the table, 56 points with 21 matches played. I like that. I like it a lot. Barcelona looking good, looking strong, looking confident in their performance against Villarreal. We're going to talk about some of the details. We're going to give out the Mustache Man of the Match and more in the full review of the good, the bad, the Barça. We'll get to that in just a moment. First, I want to turn to the chat. I want to see how everybody's doing. I want to see who's hanging out with us here in the Stash Squad. I want to say my hellos, get some conversation going, and then we'll do the full good, bad, and Barça. Let's see who we got hanging out here. Oh, I'm going to go into somebody's TikTok stream and I'm going to troll everybody. Ooh, I'm hilarious. Good stuff. All right. Scrolling through here again. If you're watching on TikTok and you want to be part of the conversation, you want the full experience, all the screen shares, the bells and whistles, all that good stuff, all you got to do is come on over to YouTube, swipe over to my profile, click the link in the bio. That'll get you to the right place. If you're watching on YouTube, before we get into the conversation, go ahead and drop a like, smash that thumbs up button. I do appreciate the love and support. Let's see who we got hanging out with us today. Grimash, hello, hello. Anthony Works is with us. Good morning. Civil Pro, good morning to you as well. Maxime is with us. Grimash says, another important win. Let's go and beat Man United. We'll talk about that match. We'll do a full preview on Wednesday's episode of Wake Up in Barca. We might touch on some things here today. Man United played over the weekend. Barca played over the weekend. Might touch on it a little bit. But primarily, we're going to be focused on the review for Barcelona Villarreal. But we'll talk a little Man United, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. Not Brandon, good morning to you. Kyle Cash is in the house. My stash mod, how we doing, sir? Who else we got hanging out with us? Gaming Forever, hello, hello. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful morning. Mario says, we're going to destroy Manchester United, both legs, but they are nice as well. That was quite a U-turn. We're going to destroy Man United, but they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. Like I said, we'll talk about that match upcoming, of course. But we are focused primarily on the match overview for Barcelona Villarreal. And since we went ahead and covered the stats, we can now get into the good, the bad, and the Barça from Barcelona's 1-0 win away from home against Villarreal. Like I said, Barcelona outpossessed in this one, but we got the 3 points. We did what we needed to do, all right? And that actually brings me to discussing first what was good about this match. The 3 points. I like to start there after a victory. We don't ever want to overlook that. We don't ever want to take that for granted. In a match where formidable opponent, mid-table club, historically can give us some trouble sometimes. Barcelona away from home, clever opponents like Parejo and others in the midfield. So it's good that we got the 3 points. Coming away with a victory away from home, it's never easy. But Barcelona doing what they needed to do, getting the victory, the 3 points, staying top of the table. Loving what I'm seeing there. Continuing on with what was good about this match. Franck Kessié. Loving what he's doing there. Subtle, but consistent. He's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to put on the Busquets hat. All right. We're letting Frankie run that pivot. We're having Kessié play a little bit more box to box, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. Franck Kessié putting in good performances, narrowly missing out on the good box. This time, I gotta give it to my man, Ter Stegen. He deserves it. He's getting clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. I know that he's not being asked to do much with the back line we have in front of him of Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, and either Balde or Alba. We're seeing that Ter Stegen is not being asked to step up and carry the defensive line, to carry these clean sheets. But Ter Stegen is there when you need him. He's there at the right time, and he's showing you that consistency and that leadership from the back. You know that he's influencing. Even if he's not getting his hands on the ball, the communication, the leadership there, Ter Stegen doing big things from the back. So he gets the good box for another clean sheet for Barcelona. 3 points in the bag, feeling good about it. But there was some bad that we need to discuss. Let's talk about Lewandowski's finishing. One-on-one with the keeper. Not once, but twice. Couldn't get around him. Other than that, he did have an assist, so I can't complain too much. I'll also say Lewandowski, under the tactical influence of Xavi, is now starting to make those runs out to the corner, out to the sidelines a little bit more. We're not seeing Lewandowski just stay centrally as a target man. We're seeing him drift wide, and I like that. I like that if Lewandowski isn't involved, if he's not being used in the build-up in the of play, find a new run, find a new space, find some chaos to create out of. So I like that from Lewandowski, and it saves him from getting in the bad box. What else was bad? Speaking of finishing, Raphinha, you're killing me, dude. You're absolutely killing me. Talking about Barça bets here, okay? I try to not let this influence it too much, but my Barça bets for yesterday's match were a Barcelona win, Lewandowski getting at least 3 shots, either on target or not, and Raphinha just getting 1 shot on target. I needed 1 shot on target from Raphinha. Just 1, and you couldn't give it to me. You had breakaways, you had free kicks, you had crosses to get on the end of, and you couldn't do any of that, Raphinha. I didn't even need you to score. I just needed 1 on frame. That's all that I needed. And you couldn't give that to me. You couldn't give that to me. I wanted to put Raphinha in the bad box. I really did. But I was weighing it a little bit too heavily because he cost me money in the Barça bets. So I'm going to take a deep breath. And I'm going to turn to what was really bad about this match. Outside of Lewandowski's finishing, outside of Raphinha not even able to be able to put one on target. Ansu Fati not getting a look. Ansu Fati not involved in this match is what was bad. Gavi starting on that left wing, Raphinha on the right. About 60 minutes in, it was clear that Raphinha, this was not going to be his match. He could have been subbed off. We waited until, the 75th, 80th minute before Ferran Torres eventually came on. And then on the left-hand side, Gavi, was it Gavi? Or was it Kessié? I forget who even came off. Somebody came off, and it wasn't Ansu Fati going to the left wing. It was Jordi Alba. So, in a match where we could have used some fresh legs in the attack, when Raphinha stopped producing, when Lewandowski wasn't finishing, 55 minutes, 60 minutes, would have loved some fresh legs in the attack. Xavi doesn't feel confident in turning to Ansu Fati. There's something going on with reports saying that Ansu Fati is now fully fit, match ready, and yet he's not being used in a 1-0 game where we could use some fresh legs up top. I get putting in Jordi Alba late to secure the defense. I get that. But earlier in the match, start of the second half even, where's Ansu Fati? So for me, that's a clear sign that Ansu has lost the trust, lost the faith of Xavi. And for those reasons, he goes in the bad box. Not excited about what's happening right now with Ansu Fati. He's got to turn things around. A lot of rumors going around a summer transfer. So we'll see what happens, folks. We will see what happens. Take a deep breath. Shake off the bad. Talk about what was Barça about this match. Turning our eyes to a more positive view. And we are going to shout out none other than Araujo. He deserves it for this one, folks. You know he does. Araujo against Villarreal earned himself. I don't even know the words. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'll say this. Araujo against Villarreal had stops on the defensive side that were worth 2-3 goals on the attacking side. There was a number of occasions, not just once, not just twice, 3 times or more, that Araujo stepped up, comes out of nowhere to chase down the pass, to dispossess the opponent, to make a tremendous sliding clearance. Araujo, big boy doing big things, stepping up when Barcelona need him. We're a little bit inconsistent with our finishing. No problem. Araujo is going to ensure that we get the clean sheet and the 3 points. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Araujo. He gets the Barça box for his performance against Villarreal. Almost the mustache man of the match. Almost. But look out for this man. Future captain, Araujo. You heard it here, folks. It's going to happen. Today, he gets the Barça box. The future, much more to come. That should be no surprise then for who gets the mustache man of the match. It is the magic man himself, Pedri. He's not always going to be on the score sheet. He's not always going to be the one getting the assists. But I'll tell you what, Pedri knows ball. Completely bossing the midfield, even though we didn't have as much possession as we're used to, even though Villarreal outpossessed us. When we had the ball, we were doing big things. Pedri, primary reason for that. You couldn't dispossess him. His passing, his dribbling, his vision, defensive side of the ball too, and he works with Lewandowski to get a little tiki-taka goal, getting the 3 points for Barcelona. So it's no surprise that Pedri gets the mustache man of the match. Just to recap, Ter Stegen for the clean sheet gets the good box. Ansu Fati, not being used, gets the bad box, even though I could have gone for Lewandowski. I could have gone for Raphinha for blowing the Barça bet. Araujo gets the Barça box for his tremendous defensive effort. Pedri gets the mustache man of the match. And that does it for the good, the bad, and the Barça, my friends. Let me know what you would change. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Your thoughts, your opinions on the match overview. Let me know what you think about the good, the bad, and the Barça, my friends. That's where we'll turn and keep the conversation going. Again, if you're enjoying the content, I'm going to ask you to drop a like. If you're just finding us for the first time, make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right, we're here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday covering Barcelona news. And, of course, the Barcelona matches, which we do have a Thursday fixture coming up. So we'll talk about some other news as well. I'm going to turn to the chat, keep the conversation going here. But first, actually, I do want to share this one Pedri stat before we turn to the chat. This is directly from FC Barcelona. Pedri has single-handedly won Barcelona 10 points in the Liga this season with 6 goals. Absolutely incredible from the young Pedri. Look at that focus. Look at that vision. Look at that commitment. Dagger stares from the young Pedri. Loving what we're seeing from Pedri. Big 3 points for Barcelona, continuing to move forward. I am disappointed that I lost my Barça bet. I am disappointed. I just needed Raphinha to put one on target. Okay, there's more matches. There's more matches to come, my friends. Let me turn to the chat, see how we're doing here. Mario saying Ter Stegen is better than Manuel Neuer right now. I'd have to agree with you. I'd have to agree. Zane says Lewandowski bad for missing, but I like the way he played. It was different yesterday. I think you're talking about Lewandowski kind of drifting out wide, making those runs to the touchline, giving the opponents a little bit something different to look at there. Ovi, good morning to you, sir. Says, what a game from Araujo. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely incredible. Mark Levinson says, I think Araujo might be better than Maguire and Langley. Might be. I'm not sure. It's really close. Araujo or Maguire? Ooh, gee. Ooh, the decision. I just don't know. If I was doing a draft, who would I pick first? That's such a tough one. I love the silliness, folks. Puts a smile on my face. Cyril asks, when is Barcelona versus United? Well, good question. That is actually coming up this Thursday. It's going to be a 12:45 p.m. kickoff. That's right in the middle of the day. So everybody's going to have to stay tuned. I got to work out my schedule. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a watch along for that one. I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best. But sometimes these midweek matches, particularly earlier in the day, 3 o'clock or later, I can usually do. But the 1 o'clock, the 2 o'clocks, hard to get to. So we'll see. I'm going to do my best to give you the live commentary, the play-by-play. If nothing else, Wednesday we're doing a little match preview. We'll go over lineups. We'll talk predictions, all that good stuff. We'll get into all that and more. So again, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. This comes up a lot. Serious question, is it football or soccer? Shortest explanation is that it was soccer. Okay, it was soccer when English speakers took it over, okay? It was invented in China where they were kicking around some heads and whatnot, all right? By the time it made its way over to Western culture, it was called soccer in England. It was brought over to America. It was then, it was brought over to America. Then in England, they changed it. They started calling it football, and we kept it soccer in America, okay? So it's actually soccer. I call it football on live stream. I call it soccer when I'm talking to people here in America. So it gets confusing, but it is what it is. It is what it is, folks. Either way, we all know what we're talking about here. Anyway, Grimash says, if we are to win against Man United, Lewandowski needs to make a dent in their defense. Yes, absolutely. I can tell you guys are very excited for this upcoming match against Manchester United. So again, we will be discussing it Wednesday. We'll be doing a full match review, the good, the bad, the Barça, all that good stuff. It's going to be happening and more. Other news surrounding Barcelona right now. Let's jump over and take a look at what Barça Buzz tweeted out earlier about Busquets' injury right now. It says the idea is that Sergio Busquets plays a few minutes against Cadiz on Sunday and arrives in the second leg against Manchester United at Old Trafford in best conditions. He will not play Thursday in the first leg. So we're going to see, I'm assuming, the same lineup. Again, we'll talk about what the lineup is going to look like, but I'm assuming it's going to be similar squad. I can't see Ansu Fati starting. I can't see Ferran Torres starting. I don't see our defense changing. Maybe you get Jordi Alba instead of Balde. Maybe. I don't know. Again, we'll talk about that and more on Wednesday's episode. Excuse me, burps. I want to shout out another man who's been stepping up. And this is a quote from a couple days ago before the Villarreal match, but worth sharing. This is Xavi talking about Frankie de Jong as I burp. Excuse me. It says, we're seeing the best Frankie since the coaching staff arrived here in both attack and defense. He has brutal confidence. I love that terminology. Love the passion, the commitment that we're seeing from Frankie de Jong. All those that were saying Frankie out, you get out. Frankie is in, you get out, okay? Frankie stays long term. Will he renegotiate a salary? Maybe. My understanding is that Frankie is getting paid a little bit more than the average player on Barcelona right now. My argument would be that Frankie is a little bit more than the average player, but just saying. He's also a little bit more established in his career compared to Pedri and Gavi, who are just putting their first foothold in their senior career here. So we'll see. We'll see, folks. Again, I see a lot of folks are excited for Manchester United versus Barcelona. That's going to be happening on Thursday. Kyle Cash bringing up, remember when there were transfer talks for Frankie de Jong? Yeah, to Man United, to Chelsea. It ain't happening. Frankie for life. Absolutely. Folks, I think that just about does it for the news. We've done a full batch overview. We've done the good, the bad, the Barça. So it's open for questions. comments, and concerns. Again, Wednesday we'll be doing a full match review. Barcelona versus Manchester United. We'll talk lineups. We'll talk predictions. We'll get our energy up. We'll start to get excited for that Thursday fixture. Is Champions League this week? I think it is. Right? Yes, it is. Ooh, Champions League coming up. Okay, let's just quick look at Champions League matches. First leg coming up tomorrow. PSG Bayern. That's going to be a tight one. Milan Tottenham. Dortmund Chelsea could be fun. Liverpool Madrid could be fun. Oh my goodness. This is tight matchups, folks. Napoli Frankfurt is going to be a shootout, I think. And then we got the second leg coming up. Is it next week or 2 weeks? Oh my gosh. You got to wait 1, 2, 3 weeks in between legs? Since when wait, why are these so spread out? Why are these so spread out? Why are some matches tomorrow and Wednesday, and then some aren't playing until the 21st? Are they just spreading this out to get more views on the matches? Because, okay, am I wrong here? Champions League used to all be played on the same day. You'd have Tuesday matches, Wednesday matches. The next week, you play the second leg and you reverse it. Wednesday plays on Tuesday, Tuesday plays on Wednesday. And now we're not doing that. Now we're spreading these out by 3 weeks or more, and we're not playing all of them in the same week. What are we doing here, Champions League? Sounds like we're trying to spread this out just to get more views as opposed to running it from what's most efficient for the tournament. I'm on to you. Should we buy Aubameyang from Chelsea? Absolutely not. He was great for the time that he came in, but that's all that we needed him for, and we're good. We move on. We move on from Aubameyang. Absolutely. Raphinha needs to be more consistent. I'm upset with him right now because he blew my BARÇA bet. But it's going to happen. When you gamble, folks, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. All right. The idea is you got to win more than you lose, and you got to make sure your bets are up to snuff so that you're not, losing big money on your losses. Anyway, I digress. It's just for funsies, folks. It's just for funsies. It's not like I'm betting a house payment on it. All right. It's just for a good time, little extra excitement with these BARÇA bets. Unfortunately, Raphinha let me down. It was a $60 bet. Would have won me $120. I got the win. I got the Lewandowski shots. I just needed a Raphinha shot on target. That's all I needed. So it is what it is. I am now 2-2 with my parlays. 2 wins, 2 losses. So this match coming up is going to be crucial. I'm actually kind of hesitant to bet on the Man United match. I might not. I might hold off on it. We'll see. Anyway, folks. Ovi says, Pedri and Araujo, we are the one who knocks. We are the danger. Love it. Little Heisenberg quote there. Wonderful, wonderful. Great show. Great show. Might go back and watch that at some point. Maybe not the whole thing, but those key seasons. Wild ending, too. Talking about Breaking Bad, of course. Wild ending. Anyway, I digress. Good shows. Ovi says, of course, it's for the views, Sensei. The more I see, the more I am realizing how corrupt UEFA is, right? I mean, listen, I'm not mad at them for trying to get the most views on their tournament, but let's also balance that with what makes sense for the flow of the tournament. Why would you have matches spread so far apart? Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not liking it in terms of the momentum of the tournament. I'm not liking it in terms of the momentum of the clubs. I mean, 3 weeks away in between legs, a lot happens in between there. Players get injured. Players return from injured. I know words. Don't worry about it. Oh, my goodness. Mike Aragon, how we doing, sir? Says Better Call Saul is pretty dank, too. I actually never watched Better Call Saul, so maybe I'll poke around at that. Quick sidebar. I started watching Yellowstone, but I started with the prequels. I started with 1883, which was awesome. Then moved into 1923, which is... And then I just started Yellowstone, and I'm trying to get into it, but I'm just seeing a bunch of rich people fighting over land now instead of the Oregon Trail and all that drama. So we'll see. We'll see if I keep up with it or not. But I know we're not here to talk about that. All right. We're talking about Barcelona, of course. We went over the full match review. We talked the good, the bad, the Barça, all that good stuff. So I think that's going to do it, folks. Later today, I will be recording another episode with Pablo and Buga on the Engine Room podcast. So we will, of course, be talking Champions League. We will be talking some Europa League. We'll talk about English Premier League, Barcelona, and more. We cover the wide world of football on the Engine Room podcast. Make sure you check us out, the Engine Room Football, on YouTube, on Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere where you see things. We're there. So check out the Engine Room podcast. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. We'll be live again on Wednesday. Full match preview for Barcelona hosting Manchester United. Pablo's in here with us. Pablo was just given a little promo for the Engine Room. I know we're going to be recording here in a little bit over 2 hours. Excited to talk some Champions League football. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Pablo, means you haven't been watching this channel for a while, first of all. But Pablo, good friend of the channel, of course, my one of the 3 members of the Engine Room podcast. But Pablo also does a whole lot of journalism outside of that as well. So make sure you follow Pablo Wols Blanco on Twitter. Top upcoming journalist. He's going to be probably the world's biggest journalist by World Cup 2026. He's going to come to America. We're going to stay together. We're going to go on a little World Cup tour in the States. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so good. And Buga's going to be there with us as well. So shout out to my fellow Engine Room brothers, Pablo and Buga. Make sure you check out their content. Fellas, if you're watching, I'll see you here in just a little bit. And everybody else on the Stash Squad, Kool-Aid's watching from around the world, I appreciate you hanging out with me. And that's going to do it for today, folks. All right, so a couple things. Come back Wednesday, full match review for Manchester United Barcelona. Have a wonderful day. High fives and hugs for whoever wants them. I hope you have lots of positive interactions as we start our week. I'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. Mwah.